All right, so this is my initial review and first impression of the Raulum International powerlifting belt. It's 4 inches tall by 13 millimeters wide. Just got it today, showed up in the mail. I've been looking for one of these for a while, ever since I saw the SBD, but they are continuously out of stock, so I was trying to find something. I figured, why not roll the dice on something at an affordable price so I could compare it to what I already knew. I found this on Amazon Prime. It was a sale price rolling between $29.99 and $39.99, guaranteed 2-day delivery or faster. And it showed up today. I instantly went and tested it out. One of the things that I wanted that I saw in the SBD was that when you use those higher quality belts, they'll have 4 prongs that lock in instead of just 2 or 1 up top. So I wanted something that was going to lock in with 4 prongs. This belt has it. I think that makes it a little more stable. What's different compared to the SBD belts is that where the SBD belt, you can actually, it would start here and then you would adjust across the holes for your tightness. This one you preset using screws, where you're going to preset the tightness that you want. So every time you lock in to that tightness that you like. So it showed up on the second to furthest setting here, and I had to adjust it back. I bought a large. I have about a 34-inch waist, and I had to adjust it all the way down to the smallest setting. So if you have a 34-inch waist, you could expect to be around there. 36 or 38-inch waist, the large is probably the right size belt for you. Anything smaller than 34, go down to a medium or a small. It goes on pretty easy. You just set it up like you would any other lever belt and open up the lever and just lock it into place. Find a comfortable spot, lock it in. All right, and that's it. Now, I did have one instance today when I used it where I didn't lock it in completely. It was about here. I thought I'd locked it in all the way, so when I went to do a squat, I had it like this, and it popped open. So just make sure that you slap it down into position, and you'll be in proper position for it. Another thing I like is that after each set of squats, you just open up the lever, you can breathe a little more, and then when you're ready to go to your next set, you just lock it back in. The leather on it, the stitching looks pretty good for what's holding it together. It looks like it's 3 pieces of leather that are glued and stitched together to get you that 13 millimeters. The felt on the inside's nice, but it does not protect you from, if you're like me and you like a real tight fit, it won't protect your hips from the bruising. As you can see, I like to go extra tight and really push my core into it when I'm doing my squats. Both sides, it's got the bruising. I always get that. It doesn't matter what type of belt I use. I like it because it gives you that tightness. The height of the belt allows you to be able to really blow your gut into it and get that push and proper breathing technique for your squats. I had been maxing out somewhere around 335, 355 on my squats before I got into these powerlifting belts. Since I've got into the powerlifting belts, I've gone as high as 395 within the last month. It's, what am I looking at? 40 pounds increase with the proper belt, proper tightness, proper fit. And I'm expecting to hit my goal of 405 that I've had for myself for a few years. I'm going to hit it probably in the next week or two. Today I just put this one on and I was doing sets at 365 for the first time. I'd never been able to do multiples at that weight. I could do singles up to about 385, 395, but I could never do multiples above about 355. Put the belt on today, I had no problem doing that. The lever itself, it's heavy. I know there's a lot of talk about these things being an issue for some of the brands. I don't think this is going to be one of them. I know it's not a popular brand, but the quality is there. It doesn't feel any different than the SBD belt that I used did. And the replacement parts, when you're buying a belt for 30 or 40 bucks, you could really afford the risk at that to be able to buy the replacement parts instead of something that's $200, $250. So overall first impressions on it, I really can't complain. I would just say that the if there was going to be one issue, it would be that it pinches just a little bit where the leather wraps around itself right about here. If you don't take the time to set in properly, you're going to get a little pinch on your sides or wherever you adjust the belt to. But a quick pull on your shirt, or starting with this tight, holding this together where it meets while it's around you and then locking in, can't prevent that little bit of a pinch. That's the only issue that I've seen with the belt. The performance is what I expected, and I mean, easily an 8 out of 10. The only reason I'm not going to give it a 9 or 10 out of 10 is because I like the ability that SBD has, that you can keep the lever attachment here and then set all the way into your pre-drilled holes, instead of having to select your pre-drilled holes and adjust screws every time you want to adjust your tightness. That's the only reason that it's not a 10. But for $40, I think you're getting a steal. I'd recommend it to anyone. Thanks.